Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 498. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I'm Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les.
I should pull out
Um,
something else to knit on.
you sounded very misanthropic with the introduction.
Like I should be Scrooge. That's who
Yeah,
I think of when I think of someone who's misanthropic. I think of Scrooge from Christmas Carol.
yeah.
Not to be confused with Scrooge McDuck from DuckTales. Ooh. Um, but yeah. Sorry that I sounded misanthropic.
You should be sorry.
I feel like I don't know.
You're letting the entire knitting community down.
Am I?
Yep.
Did you do your introduction? Because I wasn't listening.
Ladies and gentlemen, Laura Litterman. Yes,
Laura
I did.
Catherine Linneman.
Yeah, so it's Friday, August the 28th. Um, it's been another week. It's like, especially it feels to me, especially in 2020, being the dumpster fire that it is, like every week you think it can't get worse, and then it does.
And then a
And
hurricane hits.
yeah, then it does. It just does, you know. So yeah, we're both still here. We're recording separately. We will for the foreseeable future because Laura um, teaches physically in person at school with other people. Um, and the
Around 600 of
coronavirus
them.
cases in our state have gone down some,
But they're this
but
still, I think they're the highest in the country right now.
it doesn't surprise me at all. So, yeah, we're just being careful.
And there's a hurricane.
Yep, its name is Laura.
I know. Your husband sent me a text. Did I send it to you?
No, you didn't, but he told
And
me he texted you.
he texted me and he's like, so this was before Laura made landfall. So I think your hurricane, the hurricane that's named after you,
They're going to
is going to
retire the name
have
or something.
a significant amount of damage, so they'll retire the name. And just so you know, I have a hurricane that was named Michael.
I mean, it's not his hurricane. He doesn't possess it, he doesn't own it, nor did he create it, but he does feel some sort of kinship with it.
That has also been retired. And he ended it with Leslie has some catch up work to do.
He gets
because
competitive about the weirdest stuff.
because there was a hurricane named Leslie
Yes.
like 4 years ago, maybe.
Yes. It was,
Um, but it was not a retired name,
no.
and now
It
it'll be like
happened in the same year as Hurricane Michael.
so. It's gonna be like 40 years before the next Hurricane Leslie,
It's going
probably
to keep me up at
LP.
night. I don't know how I'm going to get through it. Like, it's going to cause me so much stress.
So the odds of your hurricane name getting retired while you're still
I
alive.
mean, I'll never check that off the bucket list. I don't know what I'm going to do.
I don't know that Laura will be retired, but it was the epitome of a Michael
Yeah.
thing. Like it was the most Michael thing of
He is the
Michael's.
weather. He would love to chase tornadoes. Um,
Well, we had a tornado, I guess, last night that touched down maybe or didn't touch down. It was Doppler found it, and then
yeah.
at 9 p.m. the sirens were going off here, and so I
Yeah.
grabbed Pearl and promptly butt dialed 3 people on my phone as I was trying to get her into our shelter, which is my bathroom,
Yeah.
and she was having none of it. And it was like pretty windy here, and so, but my weather radio had never gone off, and
Oh, ours
so
was going off like for 2 hours last night.
like I have to check. Michael thinks it's set to the wrong station.
Yeah.
Although I don't know how it would get set to the wrong station because I don't touch it. Like, how
I
did that magically happen? But
don't answer.
I'll have to try to, because it is essential in Mississippi to have a weather radio.
Yeah.
Like, it is
It's
something
very
that.
late for tornadoes, though.
Is it
Um,
late or early? Because I feel like
no, it's usually spring and
spring
early
and then
summer.
fall, right?
No, I didn't think we really had a fall tornado season. I don't know. I don't really give a crap, to be honest, with the exception of how it affects, me and people in general,
Yeah.
physically.
Like,
So
you're not super excited when
I don't
tornadoes
care.
come.
No.
Like, I prefer that they not come.
Yeah.
I prefer that they stay very far away because I am not a fan of them or their work. But Michael,
You would not follow a tornado on Instagram. It's just not your jam.
no,
You wouldn't
I would
subscribe
never.
to its TikTok channel. Is it
um,
channel? I don't know what TikToks are. They're videos, right? Like,
yes, I don't know.
my only exposure to TikTok is through BuzzFeed articles. So
Mine's through 12-year-olds.
I am
So,
officially an old person. So
um, I don't even know. Like, but Michael would subscribe. He would
yes,
subscribe all. Like, he would just
he would support
ring
it on
that
Patreon.
he would ring that notification bell.
Yeah.
Oh, so I don't even know where we're going with this.
Nope.
Anyway, I need to fix my weather radio so I don't die in a tornado. Nor will Pearl. Pearl's gotcha day was yesterday.
It was the 27th of August.
So I've had her 4 years. She is 5 years old approximately. She had to get all her shots on Tuesday, and she was not happy, but her mom was also not happy because I ended up holding the bitey end for some reason. Like the vet was like, "I'll take this end," and somehow I got the bitey end.
Yeah.
And she was really fine. Like the vet was doing a blood draw and accidentally stuck her twice without actually getting in the vein. So then, like, Pearl's very smart. Pearl's my Great Pyrenees mutt, where like she saw a cat go down a sewer drain once 4 years ago, and we still look at that sewer drain every single time we go for a walk because that is where the cats live.
Yep.
So there was no forgiveness in her heart for the vet after she stuck her the first time. Like, that surprise was over. And then she tried to do the heartworm test, and that's when the fangs and growling and
Hmm.
not nice behavior came out. And we were told that we have to bring our own poop sample now when we come. Which I don't know why the vet was upset because she was not at the bitey.
See, my dogs, when I take them to the vet, are fear poopers. So it's
Oh,
never a
you get that. You don't have to worry about that at all. Like, that's covered. That's not even. They don't have to shove that bubble wand or whatever that
Yeah.
is up your dog's butts. They have a sample on hand.
Yeah. Never a
Oh,
concern.
poor Pearl. But now she has all her shots are up to date again. They never really lapsed because someone likes to chase possums and any other creature that comes in.
Yeah.
So she has to get her special. I like to chase possum shot, whatever that is. So she's up to date on her 3 shots. Anyway, you were crocheting. Would you like to go first of this whole like knitting crafting show that
Yeah,
we have?
we do occasionally craft stuff. So yeah. So I'm started crocheting. Well, I'm still crocheting squares. I'm doing this like dusty pink color now. I don't have the whole thing of colors with me, but um, I finished the gray one. So this was the color I was working on last week. Um, Putty, I think was the colorway name.
It was.
So I finished
I
those.
listened that day.
This one is Soft Rose.
Hmm.
So I'm working on that. Uh, what else? I've been working on Shadow Lines, which is the 2-color lace shawl by Suzanne Summer. There we go. And I had finished half of it and had to pick up the stitches for the second half. So I've done that, and I've started the 2-color brioche section.
Oh, cool.
So after the triangle, there's this 2-color brioche section, and then these are actually 2 different sections of garter. striping, and that took forever because it's just garter, endless garter. So I'm on the 2-color brioche section now, which is going really smoothly because I like brioche. I've been watching Dirty John while knitting.
I don't know what that is.
Well, it was a podcast series last year or a year before that. Eloise told me about it.
Is it true
Eloise is in
crime?
our local knitting guild. Yeah, it's this guy. So it's a mini series on Netflix, so you can watch it there if you want. But the 30-second synopsis is it's this guy who preys on women, but he ends up hooking up with this wealthy woman in California, and he basically everything he tells her is a lie, but he convinces her he loves her and he takes care of her, but the whole time he's taking her money and he's threatening her family, and like it's really weird. But it's interesting because it's sort of told from the emotional toll it takes on the woman, and the Connie Britton is the one who plays the main character. She was the mom in Friday Night Lights. She was also in Nashville, a bunch of other stuff. And I think she actually produced it as well. But yeah, it's interesting. I've been watching that.
So is it based on a real story?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. So I've been knitting on that, and this is out of Triskelion Olwen Fine, which is a merino.
Oh, those balls are getting small.
Yeah, a merino wool that Amy of Stranded got me at the
Edinburgh.
Thank you. You just want to say
Every
Ireland
single
for some
time.
reason. I don't know why. Yeah. So I've been knitting on that. And what else have I been working on? I knit a swatch for
Really?
URSA.
Hey, Ursa's gonna come up a couple times.
Yeah. So I have this cotton that I got from Knit Picks a while back, and it's called Billow, and it does tend to shed, which is kind of a bummer, but it's a cotton, so that's nice. And Ursa is a bulky sweater. It's sort of a cropped bulky sweater by Jacqueline. I can't say her last name because I don't know how to pronounce it. But it calls for a gauge of 11 and a half stitches to 4 inches and a 10 and a half needle. And I think I knit it on an 11, and I haven't washed it yet, but I got 12 stitches to the inch. So if it grows just a little bit after the wash, I should get gauge. But even if I don't, I'll
It's
just do.
got some ease built into it, I think.
Yeah, it does, and I don't want quite as much ease as she um, calls for. So I had planned on knitting a smaller size so that it would even out in the ease. But I'll have to do some math regardless. But I have to wash the swatch first to see how it comes out. So yeah,
Cool.
I'm going to knit Ursa.
And
It should be a
Ursa has
relatively quick knit.
brioche. Yeah, it should.
Yeah, it's got a little brioche in the front under the bust. So, but it's weird knitting with such huge needles. So
I bet.
to alternate between lace weight and bulky, it was interesting. I think that's it.
That's
Yeah,
all.
I didn't work on the embroidery or cross stitch at all this week. Um, so I don't have any of that to show.
Cool.
What about you?
Not cool that you didn't, but cool in general. What did I work on? I don't even know. So I am in the process of working on what are these things called? Barn raising square.
Yep.
And I'm knitting mine on 2.5 millimeter needles. They are signatures, double points. I find that this pattern works best on double points, and it works really well if you just change, instead of doing a beginning of row marker, if you change your middle marker so that it's a different one on your first
Yeah.
one, your first needle. Words are hard today. Then it works best for me. I'm using some Plucky Feet in the Elixir colorway. I'll have one of these to show you guys in a second. So I just started a second one while I was on a Zoom the other day. And then, and I'll talk about the Zoom in a little bit too. I also knit on because Leslie and I did a fail along, and I failed hard.
And early.
And early. Because if you're going to fail hard, you need to fail early. Like, that's the whole thing. We did origami, and I could not. I could not figure out a mountain folds. Like, I could not get it. And without someone here physically showing me, it was not good. I'm mostly a kinesthetic learner, so it was just a not good situation for me. But people were kind and let me knit instead of doing origami, as Leslie made things like, I don't know, what did you make? You
I
made a
tried a
crane.
lotus flower. It didn't quite work. I made a fish and a crane and a jumping frog and something else. Oh, a box, the little basket thing.
Okay. Sorry, someone just tried to call me from California. And
It was
then it rang
probably,
twice and it hung up.
if it's been anything like the people who've been calling me, they're urgently trying to reach the owner of the automobile about the extended
Yes.
warranty. Yeah, I've been getting those
Yes.
constantly. I'm like, dude, my car is 12 years old. Any warranty is long gone.
Yeah, that's well gone. Anyway, the other thing that I've been working on is a bounce blanket. So I started the fourth color. I'm sorry, the fourth repeat of the third color, and I'm about to start the fourth color. So I did not get that done in time for a stash dash, but I'm still plugging away at it. I have till November, so I'm still doing okay. Um, and that is out of Neighborhood Fiber Company in their DK base, which is Studio DK. The green is Belair, and then the gradient colors is a Shades of Turquoise gradient pack. And I'm
Okay, I have
knitting
to pause
that.
you there for a second. So
Hmm.
the green is Belair.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen the trailer for the somebody, I can't remember his name now. Oh God. But this guy made a trailer for a dramatic version of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like in
No,
modern times. It is
no.
surprisingly good. Like it is so good. And Will Smith is going to work with this guy and do a season of this. Like
Oh,
it's
cool.
really good. Like they
Good.
incorporate the whole Black Lives, Matter movement
Oh,
and
cool.
police violence and all. It's really good. You should watch the trailer. It's
You'll
out
have to
there
send
somewhere
it to
on
me,
YouTube.
or I'll have to find it on YouTube. But yeah, no,
Um,
I haven't yet. That
sorry, just
sounds
the
really good.
colorway name Bel Air reminded me. So
Yeah. Okay. And I just picked up. I pulled out two project bags that had stuff that I had started earlier in 2020 that had not been getting a lot of work on them, and some I don't think you've. I know you haven't seen this one. So I decided when we got back from Scotland to cast on like just a circular cowl.
oh yeah,
So I know you've seen it, but they haven't because it's been
right.
living on my couch. So I did Judy's Magic cast on to do a provisional cast on, and I cast on something like 100 stitches, and I just joined them in the round. And I had gotten some mini skeins from Sealy McWheely, and they were all based on Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So here are the other four. And then there's this one. And this one is Arthur. And then there's this one is Marvin.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I
I got
think
a
I got
skein
a
of
scheme
one
of
of
one of
those.
those. Oop, I became unplugged. Okay. There might have been echo. And then one of these is Zaphoid. I think it's this one. No. I have the paper here, but I didn't write down like which one was which. So Marvin Trillion, I think, is this one. Zaphoid, and then Ford. So I have these four mini skeins, so a total of 5, and it's 100 grams, so 425 meters total. and I paired that with a skein that was from my stash in a company that is no longer in business. Let me see if the tag's still in here. Anyway, it's in the Stardust colorway.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm pairing them and I'm just doing whatever I want. So originally I was thinking about doing Amy Florence's Litmus Cow.
Yeah.
But I don't have enough yarn for it. It would be a very short one if I did that because I have less colors than she had. So what I'm doing is I'm just doing what I want. So I'm going to make like a big color block of this section in the Stardust colorway, and then I might stripe Stardust with one of them and, you know, do like 2x2 stripes or 1x1 stripes. And I'm just going to do whatever I feel like.
You
I
could do
might
a
do
brioche
brioche.
section.
Yeah. I might do brioche if I enjoyed brioche at one point. I'm just gonna have fun with it and just it's been getting mostly worked on when I am sitting on the couch and I turn on the switch and I have some time as it like, you know, gets loaded,
Mm-hmm.
or as the little dog plays his music concert,
Yeah.
or as I'm making tons of fish bait or other like things on the game. So yeah, so this is my spring of Animal Crossing. It's like an elephant's bite, Cal. Like, you know, how do you eat an elephant? One
Yep.
bite at a time. So
Bite at
it's
a
very
time.
much one stitch at a time, just do what I want. And eventually it'll be around 70 inches long. Hopefully that's the plan. I can always add more colors if I want. I can just go wild. I actually have the Marvin color in a different base, like a brushed alpaca Surrey base. So I could
Mm-hmm.
add like light stripes, like, you know, a different texture stripe or something at one point. Like I could just do what I want. So that's on the needles, and I'm knitting that on size 16, like 16-inch circular size threes. So it's just whenever. And it's been living on the couch. And then the other thing that has been living on the back of the couch untouched, underneath a throw pillow, actually, it got like jammed in the back, is my URSA minor sweater that I started back in April and got 2 rows done on, 2 whole rows, and maybe 1 whole row, like a cast on in a row, it looks like.
Yeah.
And so I am going to pick this back up since it is fall now. And I feel like my sweater mojo's coming back a little bit. And I am going to knit on that. So the difference between Ursa Minor and Ursa, because they're both by the same designer, is one has Brioche Ursa and this one does not.
But
It's
they're the
just
same weight.
and
Okay.
the same shape. Um, So, and I'm using Barocco Chunky, Barocco Vintage Chunky.
Vintage. Yeah.
Yeah. And I did do a gauge swatch back in like March, but it's gone now. It's somewhere
Yeah.
in
It's not
space.
gone. It's just unlocatable.
I mean, the space is pretty crazy right now. So, yeah, those were the 2 like surprise project bags that I found this week that I really need to do something with them. And then I just ripped out a sock that I also found in a project bag. So I was trying to finish 2 things before I started on something new, but then I started on these squares for a friend, so that didn't loan itself to that real well because they've got a
Yeah.
deadline. I did some deadline knitting instead. Did you finish anything?
I did.
I want to see.
Um, I finished a couple of squares. So I had already finished, these are barn raising squares. So I'd already finished this maroon one and this turquoise one. And then I finished this deep blue one. I can't remember what I used this yarn for, but I really love this color. And I have no idea what it was.
Is it that Volmisa?
It's not Volmice.
Okay.
It's like a 2-ply twist, kind of like another crafty girl. Like her strong heart or whatever that base is. I forget what it's called. Yeah. And then I knit this one. This one is that I Miss Babs. So I finished 2 squares this week. I've got 4 total. I'll probably do at least one more, but I need to find some yarn in the jewel tone family, which I've got plenty of. I just need to choose.
Yeah.
So
how long is it taking you to do a square? Because mine took 4 hours.
I want to say it's, I don't know actually. A couple hours at least. But I really don't. I've made no effort to take notes. So when I do my next one, I'll try to keep an eye on time and figure it out. But also, I actually finished this last week and forgot to talk about it. But Kobe and I finished Paper Mario.
Oh,
And
wow.
Towards like halfway through, I sort of had him playing the game more, and I was just crafting and sitting and talking as we were doing stuff. So I finished this needle punch.
That's pretty.
I need to fix change the way it's framed. This is the back of it, because you do it from the back. So I need to fix the frame and hang it up somewhere. But I did a needle punch project. This is another one I got from Zoo Lily when they had a sale like months back. I got 5 or 6 of them. So
cool.
Yeah. So I did another little needle punch kit.
I like
What
it. It
else?
reminds me of the sunset.
Yeah. Well, that's what it is.
Well, good. I can identify shapes. Check on that report card.
I am currently working on getting. So we had this friend Ro, Carolyn, who lived in
Atlanta,
Georgia. Yeah, outside of Atlanta, and she passed away back in 2015, I believe. 14 or 15, I can't remember which year. And when she did, I had already bought a sewing machine from her and a couple of other little things that she wasn't super mobile toward the end. And so she sold a couple of her crafting supplies and I picked up a couple of items. But when she passed away, her husband sent me a couple more things of hers, and one of them was a serger. And it's a really nice serger, and it never came out of its box until today. Like even she hadn't taken it out of the box. It was still had the factory packaging and everything. So I unboxed it today and got it threaded. But I've got a bunch of fabric that I've bought over the past few weeks, month or so at Joann's. They've been clearancing out a lot of fabrics to get ready for some new stuff. And I need to finish the edges before I wash them, otherwise they'll fray.
Yeah.
And so I thought I would try doing it with the serger because it's supposed to be
instead
a lot
of like
faster.
a zigzag. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the difference between a serger and a sewing machine is serger is cut as they sew, right?
Correct. And they use twin needles. You can use twin needles on a sewing machine for some things. But they can also use up to 4 threads at once, depending on the stitch that you're doing. And I guess there's whole garments that you can use just a serger to put together.
You can make sweatshirts using a serger. Yeah. Because I made one in 7th grade.
Wow.
For home ec, we made pillows. And so I made a pillow shaped, they were like these kits, a pillow shaped like a rollerblade. I'm very sad I still don't own that.
Yeah, and me too.
We made sweatshirts.
Were they already cut for you?
No.
Oh, you cut
No.
fabric.
I mean, someone did. I have no recollection of doing it, but someone did besides me. Like, I'm sure I did something.
Yeah. Wow.
So I got to use a serger,
I bet it
and that
still
is,
fits just like the day you made it.
I have no idea where that is. I'm sure it was donated. I'm sure it came home and my mom was like, nope.
That
No.
is, your mom would have been like, "Oh, that's great," and then hidden it from you.
Yeah. Uh, and so that is the first and last time that I have ever touched a sewing machine or a serger, I think.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Well, I wanted to learn it, and
No,
I've been
I think it's a great way.
with Jesse, and we've been talking more about doing overalls. Uh, the Ophelia
Ophelia?
overalls. Oh, let me show you this terrible fabric that I chose for
Oh,
my like
good.
muslin pair, you know.
Oh,
But
I hope you better wear these to my house at some
oh,
point.
I'm gonna wear them everywhere if they turn out. I'm gonna wear them everywhere. Hang on a second, I'll get
I
it.
cannot wait. I'm on the edge of my seat.
So this was, I can't imagine why, but this was on Joann's like super last clearance, and I think I got it for like two
Is
something
it
a yard.
knit or is it
It's
woven?
woven. Yeah, I
Because
wouldn't make
overalls.
overalls probably out of a knit. Not in my size. Probably in a smaller size, they'd be fine. But are you ready? It's gonna be
I'm
amazing.
so ready. Oh, wow. I kind of like it.
It's
Do you
so
not like
terrible.
it? No, I like it. It's like a light blue with mustard and like
Oh
a
no, that's
maroon.
purple.
Oh. Oh, it's got sparkle.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like a tablecloth that you're
Yes,
going to
it
wear
is.
as a garment. I
Yes, I
love it.
am.
Pearl's going to be so impressed.
Yeah, and it's got like the sort of underlaying honeycomb look to the stitching.
Yeah. Oh,
There's
look at
so much
that.
happening in this fabric.
It's got
Um,
sparkle. It's got
mhm.
honeycomb. That's
It's a
in a
plaid
plaid.
with green and gold and mustard and purple.
But like the sparkle's like rainbow, right?
Well, it's sort of iridescent, and it's in the sparkle is in pinstripes, like down the. There's
Oh.
so much pattern in this pattern,
I
but
am going to love that.
I figured
How much was it a yard?
like I said,
$2?
it's like two something a yard. It was very
Yeah.
inexpensive, and I think I got like 5 yards of it. So yeah. Figure this will be like my practice pair to figure out how things go together and all that. And
Yeah.
I still anticipate actually wearing it, if
Yeah.
not out, then at least around the house. So
Absolutely.
never tell me anything. So yeah, I'm hoping to at least get the fabric washed this weekend.
You
Usually
could
when I
wear your Ursa sweater with him.
yeah, I could. And some hand knit socks and a
Yeah.
shawl, and like people will think I'm, a rich old white lady, I guess. I don't know. Um, but usually when
They'll
I
think you're
wash,
Carol Durden.
usually when I wash fabric, I hang it out to dry.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but the weather is going to be terrible this weekend, so that's not going to
Our
be an
friend
option.
Carol is a freeform crochet artist, and she actually is always dressed to the nines, but she does like really funky freeform crochet.
Or Carol, because she gives
I
zero
love it.
F's about what you think about basically anything, but
I love
primarily,
it.
she's like, she decorates her house with jars of doll heads. Like,
Yeah.
she's just so cool.
Everyone needs a Carol in their life.
I want to be Carol. Like, yeah.
I
She's
love it.
um. Anyway, what else? Oh, you finished Square, right?
I finished a square, and it's only measuring 6.5 inches, so I'm hoping it will block bigger because
Mine are just over 7.
they're supposed to be 7.5.
Oh, are they? I thought
So
it was 7.
No, I reread it and it says, because you told me 7 and I was like, this will work. And then, I don't know, but I did it to pattern. But I'm using smaller needles. But it's superwash
Yeah,
merino,
it'll
so
stretch.
I think it'll be okay. I
Well, that's good.
might,
That
on the
be fine.
second one, I will go further out with it.
Yeah, another couple rows.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, so this is the first of the barn raising squares. Um, I probably messed up someplace. It looks like right there. It'll be all right.
It's fine. It's not meant to be perfect.
Yeah. So, and I like the purple. And it's good. It's funny to me how open my yarn overs are prior. So it's the pattern is knit till you come to a marker, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over. And this is my yarn over before the marker, and
Hmm.
that's my yarn over after the marker.
Wow.
Right?
Oh, that is a difference.
It's an extreme difference. Do yours look like that too?
I don't know. Let me look. I don't
Just
think
curious.
so.
This one's more even. That one's more even.
No, mine look relatively even.
Yours look the same. There's a mess up right there too. I'm just gonna point out all my
I mean,
mess
when they're
ups.
not stretched, they definitely look uneven. So like this looks uneven because this looks like you can see it really well, but not on this side. But once it's stretched out, they look even.
Yeah, so we'll see how it blocks. Like that's the thing too, is it's got these lace holes that'll block the yarn overs that'll block open pretty well as well. I did not finish spinning anything this
I
week.
didn't even start spinning anything this week, so
Um yeah, so next week hopefully I'll have I'm in the middle of spinning an 8-ounce project. So
hmm.
I have like 3 of it done. So hopefully this weekend I will put some effort in on that for sure. When it comes to reading, I am still listening to Clap When You Land. It's really good so far. I'm like savoring it because I'm really enjoying word choice in it specifically. And that's young adult. And then for adult reading, I am about to start the new RJ Blaine book called Booked for Murder. It's a new series, and there was a bodyguard who becomes a librarian after she becomes injured, and she's got magic, and she's going to solve some mysteries.
Heck yeah, it sounds right up your
So,
street.
yeah, super on my street. And then I went to a virtual Alana Andrews friends Zoom that also had Amanda Boucher.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Nilini Singh.
yes, so it was Alana Andrews, Gordon and Alana Andrews, and they were in Texas. And Amanda, it was in France.
Wow.
And Nalini is in Australia or New Zealand.
I can't. I don't remember.
I can't remember. And so, yeah. But if you were interested, they talk about world building and characters. So if you're a fan of any of their books, the library who put it on, who actually has a romance book club. Why does my library not have that? Like seriously, that is what I need. Um that would be so much fun though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see if Becca's library has a romance book club, or she'll start one, and then we can do a romance book club. It'd be fun.
See, we need to
Um,
pair with a dyer and do like a, once every 3 months. Like, I mean, these are things that, yeah, sounds great, but I'll never make time to do. But like, we need to pair up with a dyer and like every 3 months put out a kit where it's like, read this book and make this pattern with this yarn.
oh,
And
that'd be fun. But yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, so the library put um the conversation up on YouTube, and they have a pretty cool YouTube channel with lots of different romance authors. They get people in pretty frequently.
That's
So
awesome.
I linked to it because I know you couldn't make it,
Yeah.
and it was good. I enjoyed it.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, what are you reading, friend?
Well, I just finished reading the third in the Starfig Investigations, which is a male-male fantasy. So there's like dragons and fairies and gargoyles and witches and wizards and that sort of thing. So I just finished that earlier today. Today I had a day off because I had been on call. And I just finished listening to Lovecraft Country by
That's
Matt Ruff.
into HBO series, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So I had bought the book a couple months ago because I enjoy Lovecraft's. I don't particularly love.
You don't love Lovecraft?
I don't particularly like who Lovecraft was as a person, and I don't particularly like how he told the Cthulhu and Ancient One stories, but I like more modern takes on Cthulhu and the Elder Gods, like the 14 and the Fold, and what was the other one that I read recently that was, I will have to look it up, but I like more modern takes on the Elder God type canon.
Uh-huh.
And but I hadn't listened to it yet, and so I started watching the HBO series. There's only 2 episodes out as of right now, and it's just bonkers. Like, it takes an episode or 2 to get into the crazy. Like, it's great from the beginning, but it's not like crazy yet. But then once you get into the second episode, the whole Lovecraftian aspect starts,
Crazy as in, tell me what
like
you're
things
meaning by
that
that word.
are unrealistic. Well, I say unrealistic. Things that are fantastical,
Okay.
like, you know, weird albino creatures with a sensitivity to light that will come and murder everybody. Like,
I mean, that sounds like a Friday to me.
right. More Lovecraftian. So, but yeah, I'm really enjoying the series so far. It is
Instead of more
bananas.
cowboy and more cowbell, it's more Lovecraftian.
More Lovecraftian, more Cthulhu. Um, but yeah, it's already variated from the book, but in the book there's like all the characters, with the exception of a couple, are African American, and it's this sort of, part of them are related by family, and some of them, well, they're all sort of related by family. There's groups of family, and then they intersect as friends, but they all sort of have their own story in this, and each one is bonkers. Like, one person buys, it's uh, I didn't know the term, but the term for African Americans buying a home in a traditionally white neighborhood was called pioneering, because they would get threats, and of course the white people in the neighborhood primarily did not want them there, so they'd get their windows broken out and violence. Sometimes they'd be killed. So there's a whole story about that character, and the house that she buys is haunted. And then there's a story about another character who loves astronomy, and she finds this like observatory where she can travel to other planets. Like, super, it's just,
So there's a lot of paranormal, like Twilight Zone type
yes,
aspects of it.
Twilight Zone-esque is a great way to describe it.
Okay.
Um, just like, the book is bonkers, so I'm looking to see how, and I say that in the fondest of terms, fondly bonkers. But so I'm looking to see how the show compares to that.
Yeah. This sounds like something I would hate.
Yeah, oh yeah, you would not like it. Um,
So I will
you,
leave you to your
you're not much of a
Cthulhu.
like monsters and horror person.
I mean, I like the Anne Bishop books. In fact, there's like 2 ones that I haven't read that I need to get on the library wait list for.
Yeah, those are dark. I have to space those out in between other ones.
Yeah, I mean, well, and they only come out in March every year, so you've got plenty of time to
Yeah,
space them out. Um,
that's
so
like
I
Written in
don't,
Red, and I think Written in
yeah.
Red's the first one.
So I don't mind traditional horror books with monsters. It's just not my go-to when I'm reading. But I do like kids books. Like Mary Downing Hahn is the jam because she's still writing several books a year. Like Wait Till Helen Comes. And then Forgotten Girl was one that I read this past winter that was really, really good. So, but those are more ghost. I don't know. I want to read Pets, which is a YA horror that has more monster type aspects to it. That's on my list. That was on my list to start reading in March. And then 2020 happened, and I was like, I don't really need more horror.
I feel like so many things could be explained by just adding, and then 2020 happened. To the end of it, like,
yeah.
this is going to be a year.
That's going to be I mean, people do that to some degree with other years, but I feel like this is going to be one of those years where, because, like, you can say, and then COVID happened, but really 2020 has been more than just COVID.
Yeah, and it's been a lot of fallout as a result of how COVID affected other things.
Yeah. But, I mean, 2020 has definitely been more than just that. So it's just, I don't know. It's just 2020. It is what it is. We're just managing to try to make it through the best we can.
One bite at a time, Laura.
Yep. Elephant eating bites at a time. I was reading a tweet that someone had reposted on Instagram, and it said, like, you know, what our expected productivity should be would be like 40% of normal productivity, like in this year with everything happening. But instead, people want 140%. And that really resonated with me today.
Yeah, I'm very lucky, and I'm very lucky in a lot of ways, but I was especially thinking this week because I am a full-time work at home, and I have been full-time work at home since 2016, and I'm lucky that my company allows that for certain positions. I mean, there's a lot of rules about what you have to do to maintain it, and the scores you have to get on your annual reviews and that sort of thing. Like there's a structure around being able to do it. But I'm very lucky that I can. But also, when everything started happening in March, and all of our corporate IT people started working from home, it was a struggle for a lot of people, and it still is a struggle for a lot of people. And with schools starting back in Las Vegas and in Atlantic City, in the coming week or weeks, my boss especially has been really kind, and she's like, look, this is an unprecedented situation. If you have to take a couple hours in the middle of the day because you have to help your kid do their kindergarten work, do it. You can make it up. It's not a big deal. Let me know.
That's awesome.
Take those 2 hours, like, we know there's going to be noise in the background because your kids are there. We know that you're at home and you have a dog. Like, don't let it stress you out. And, we will make whatever accommodations we need to in order to, help support you being healthy and safe. So I wish that it was that way for everyone, but
yeah. Well, my struggle has always been more self-imposed boundaries. Like, I do not do well with setting boundaries.
Don't.
And so when a parent emails me at 1 a.m.
For yourself.
Yes.
Now, when it comes to other people, you support them. But yeah, for yourself, like, you're like, oh, it'll only take a minute. And it's true. It may only take a minute if it was only one. Yeah. And if it was only every great now and then.
Yeah. So, like,
but you always give more of yourself than is really fair to you.
So I've been getting, because it is such an unprecedented situation, and we have parents that work, not just 9 to 5 hours, but all hours, and they're trying to get help for their kids. I mean, our board policy is that we have to respond to stuff by the end of the following school day, But if a parent's at home struggling with something, like trying to get their kid logged into a program and that email wakes me up, I'm going to answer that email. But at the same time, that's not good self-care. So that's something I'm trying to work on. Like last weekend, I went in for 2 hours, but I limited myself to 2 hours. That doesn't mean that I didn't do work at home.
Yeah.
But I try to limit myself to just going in for those 2 hours. But I have been staying late every day for the most part. I did come home for the Alana Andrews because I was like, I am not missing this. And I was actually in an IEP meeting that was going very, very long. And I told the IEP team, the committee, I was like, hey, I have to be home by 3:00 because I love this romance author.
Yeah.
And they are going to be online, and I don't care that you're judging me because it's a romance author. I have to be home because the library said like at 3:05 they're not letting people in. So you lose your spot. So I was like, I will be home. So I actually did go home early on that day. But yeah, it's just setting those boundaries and trying to have a healthy relationship with work that has been more like it's always been a struggle, but it's been more of a struggle since because I'm not used to working at home. So
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm not working at home now, like I'm at school.
well, you're not just working at home. You're working your full-time job physically at your place of employment, and you're working at home.
And getting 12 to 15,000 steps a day at my full. Like I told one of my coworkers, I better be skinny by the time this pandemic's over, because my building does not have an elevator. It was built in the 70s. So in order to run my book cart upstairs, which I do 2 days a week, I have to carry everything upstairs. I did ask, so that's my other thing that I'm trying to work on, is asking for help. So I did get one of the other teachers who is much younger than me, because I'm almost 40 and he's like 22 and has muscles to carry things. Like, because I had 75 pounds of books to carry up and down the stairs at one point, and I was like, I'm going to fall and break something.
Did you get your new cart set up and everything?
My new cart is amazing and everyone is jealous of it.
You better put a tracker or something on it.
I'm going to have to put a square on it.
Yeah.
I should actually. No, I put it in my library. So one of the struggles was I didn't have a cart for upstairs.
Oh.
And so Leslie we purchased one on Amazon that folds up, that we can also use at SSK. But it's a really, really nice cart and it holds up to 300 pounds.
Yeah.
And so I have a book return like box, like a Tupperware tub that I put on the second shelf down. And then I put the kids' books in stacks by teacher on the top carts. And then I have Germex and paper towels and an extra mask in a plastic bag and like anything else that I might need on the bottom. So just in case. Although getting hand sanitizer at this point is really hard.
Felix, stop looking between my boobs.
But really I'm going to go to Costco tomorrow. So if you need something from Costco, let me know, because I'm going to go look for hand sanitizer.
Yeah, I tried to add some Lysol or store brand, whatever, wipes to my cart. They won't let you do that with digital orders now.
No, they will not. They've never let you do that with digital orders since March.
Oh, okay. I haven't tried.
Yeah.
But I was like, from now on, anytime I go someplace, I'll look and I'll pick some up if I can, since Laura can use them, But yeah, that didn't quite work with the online order. They also, for some reason, I ordered 3 12-packs of Diet Dr. Pepper.
Did you get like 124 and 112 and then it was more expensive?
That would have been okay. But instead, they gave me 12 6-packs
of the mini bottles?
Of the bottles, the 20 ounce or whatever. these size bottles.
Do you want
But they
to
gave
trade
them to me for the price of that I would have paid for a 12-pack. So it's not like I didn't get charged more, but I'm like, I didn't ask for this. This is not what I asked
Well, you don't
for.
like the bottles, right? I'll trade you cans for bottles because
Well, I
I
mean,
have cans.
I like them okay, but I prefer the cans.
Well, I'll
But
trade
yeah, I'll
you
bring
because
some
I don't
over
care.
and trade. But
Because I don't mind the bottles for work at all. Like a bottle, that's the other thing is I'm not drinking enough water at work because when I have my mask on, I
yeah,
can't. And I'm constantly like around people because they're using my library to do things like IEP meetings where we can spread out and stuff like that. But to the point where I don't feel comfortable I could go back in my office and drink water. I'm just not prioritizing it
yeah.
correctly.
There's that self-care that we talked about.
So this week I am going to try to drink water more because headaches from no water are no fun.
They're really not.
Like, it's not a good time. We've talked a lot about things that are not knitting
We
today.
have. Is if you are not a fan of banter, this is not the episode for you, which you probably figured out 45 minutes ago.
I mean, really, in the first 10 minutes when we were talking about hurricanes.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm up to $614 for the My Hope.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome.
and this week, my kids were so excited because I asked them when I went in to deliver books, I was like, hey, I'm going to order some books. What do you want? And a lot of times they'll look at me and one of them was like, we really need more Fortnite books. And I was like, okay, let me take a look. So I went and one of the things that I do is I analyze the holds. So I look and see like how many kids have a specific book on hold. And then, you know, if there's, for example, for Fortnite, a 45 kid wait on a single title,
Yeah.
then I try to get more. So I ordered $100 worth of Fortnite books and then another $100 worth of like Diary of a Wimpy Kid because even though I have like 7 copies of each, a lot of them were not like returned at the end of the year, and I'm up to 60 holds on one of them, Wrecking Ball,
Oh,
I think. So I ordered a bunch of those to try to help with that. So yeah, I also learned how to on Follett you can make these cool collections. So it's like if you like Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Miss Linneman recommends, and
oh,
then it's like clickable links though back to the because it's within Destiny, it lets them just put it on hold.
that's cool.
So I learned how to do that today. So that is going to become my new thing. Like once a week, I would like to create one of those
Yeah.
in addition to book talks, in addition to what's new in the library, which I used to do for the announcements. So now it's kind of nice to have another space to do that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to buy some new stuff for them. It's gonna be cool. I'm trying to think what else. Stash Dash ended. I'm
Yeah.
excited to look for all of that. That's super
Yes.
fun.
Yeah, I need to make time to do that. And I need to look on non-Ravelry places as well. Laura was talking about Instagram and people using the hashtag and everything. So I
Yeah,
need
there
to
were
make
some
time to do
really
that.
cool like flat layouts on Instagram for it as well. So yeah, trying to think what else.
We have our annual or our monthly VKN on Sunday.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
true.
I don't remember what time, but let me look it up because that might be good information if you're a
Patreon sponsor.
Patreon supporter. Let's see. Well, actually, it's on Crowdcast, not Patreon. Let's see. Dashboard. It is at 1 p.m.
Oh, cool.
Central on Sunday. So if you are a Patreon supporter, we'll see you then. We sincerely thank you for supporting the show.
Absolutely.
And I think that's all. Do you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
FedEx lost my Misfit Market box. I
What is
got a
that?
box to try. It's like fruit and vegetables
Oh
that
yeah, I've
are
seen those that are like imperfect or
yeah, so I tried it, but I haven't gotten my box, which was supposed to be delivered Wednesday, and when you click on the FedEx tracking, it says this tracking is no longer available. So that's an interesting sign.
that's no good. I just got a book Wednesday that was mailed from the UK in April.
Oh wow. So, but FedEx is like based in Memphis. So like yeah. It's very sad. I didn't go shopping for fruit or vegetables. This like I didn't add it to my Kroger order because that was coming and I was like, I'm gonna have enough to last me 2 weeks. And now I have 0.
Yeah. I thought you were going to Costco tomorrow.
I am. All the fruit and veg shall be mine. I think that's
Yeah.
it. Well, have a good rest of your night, friend.
I'm going to play with the serger and see what I can get done. But,
Yeah, it'll be
well,
fun.
all right. We'll talk to you again on Sunday if you are going to join us for the weekend. But if not, it'll be next week. You guys have a good one. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.